organic, unpredictable, unknown, lovely, beautiful, a sense of fulfillment. This is part of the pleasures of life and not the chores of life.
Coming up on Daily Iowan TV, tornadoes in October. It's not tornado season, but we'll tell you why up to 16 tornadoes wreaked havoc on the Midwest.
A 6-mile hike around Iowa City. Learn why UI students are paying money for a stroll around town.
And in sports, it was Spartans versus the Hawks in Kinnick Stadium Saturday afternoon. Highlights and analysis on the way.
Everything you need to catch up on this weekend's events and news coming up next.
I'm Tom Brokaw. For more than 100 years now, the University of Iowa community has been waking up to the Daily Iowan. Today, it's the largest newsroom in eastern Iowa. And now you can see the news every night on Daily Iowan TV and get it anytime worldwide at dailyiowan.com.
Good evening, I'm Tasha Woods.
And I'm Rebecca Hager. Twisters tore across the Midwest this weekend. These were the first tornadoes in Iowa since 2007. 15 people were injured in Iowa, Nebraska, and South Dakota. Check out this video from the Weather Channel of a tornado as it tears across northern Nebraska. Weather experts estimate up to 16 separate tornadoes, and at least 4 of them touched down in Iowa. Before Friday, there had only been 13 October tornadoes in Iowa since 1980. Tornado season usually doesn't start until late winter, but the National Weather Service said the tornado surge was a result of 2 major supercell storm systems. We have weather reporter Megan Ticknor here with us to explain the supercell that hammered the Midwest.
Thanks, Rebecca. It is unusual to see tornadoes in October, but 2 supercells began a night of terror in the Midwest. Take a look at this map provided by the Weather Channel. The storm cells began in northeast Nebraska and made their way up to South Dakota and throughout southwest Iowa. Experts estimate one tornado grew to 1 mile wide. It touched down in Sioux City, Iowa. The tornadoes began in Stanton, Nebraska at 4:30 p.m. The first supercell lasted 2 hours and 49 minutes. Over the course of 75 miles, it produced at least 4 major tornadoes, 2 of them in Iowa. The second supercell began in Lyons, Nebraska. This supercell lasted just over 2 hours and traveled 70 miles. The weather experts are still counting the total touchdowns. Stay with us later on, and I'll have your 6-day forecast for Iowa City.
Thanks, Megan. Winter is approaching quickly, and that means some more dangerous weather.
And we'll be here reporting for you when that happens, but we want to hear from you too.
If you see any wacky weather, send it our way at dailyiowantvnews@gmail.com.
Flames burned through an Iowa City home on Friday. Firefighters were called to a house on Burns Avenue just after 10 a.m. Smoke and flames flickered from the roof. Firefighters controlled the fire within 30 minutes. No injuries were reported. Damage to the home is estimated at $25,000.
Food, dancing, and what looks like a lot of fun. The students filled the Iowa Memorial Union Saturday night to celebrate Latin culture. The Association of Latinos Moving Ahead hosted the annual celebration called Al Ritmo. Al Ritmo means the rhythm in English. Representatives for the association said they wanted an alcohol-free event for families and community members, and a place to show off some dance moves.
The point of this event is to gather the community, like the local community, the outside community from not involved in the university, and the Latino students here at the university as well, come together in the event of Latino Heritage Month.
And it's starting to feel like fall in Iowa City, so here is your weather.
Hey guys, I'm back to tell you about this upcoming forecast. We may be seeing more of the fall-feeling weather, but don't bring out the heavy gear just yet. Tomorrow morning, we'll start off with partly cloudy skies and 50 degrees. Moving into the afternoon, the sun should come out with a high of 68 before dropping back down to 54 degrees at night. Looking at the rest of the week, the 70s are the theme. Tuesday will be a sunny 73 degrees. On Wednesday, those clouds will come back with a high of 72. Both Thursday and Friday, the temperature will remain consistent at 75 degrees. And keeping with the partly cloudy theme, Saturday will be in the low 70s. So for the most part, you can expect a fairly consistent week of fall weather. That's all I have here, tossing it back to you ladies at the desk.
Thanks, Megan. And I know I'm loving this cool down. Last night I actually got out my fall boots and my scarf, so I'm pretty excited for it.
I know. I had to grab my boots and my coat today to stay warm. So,
well, coming up next, we have sports. We've got full coverage of Saturday's homecoming game, Spartans versus Iowa.
It's a tale our parents told us growing up, but could it be real? Find out next.
Iowa SJMC.
Want a major that'll take you somewhere?
I joined and now I'm in Los Angeles, California, interning for Conan O'Brien at Warner Brothers Studios.
I joined and now I'm working in public relations for diabetes research.
SJMC.
Today, students and community members gathered on campus to raise money for world refugees. The Iowa United Nations Association hosted its second hike to help refugees. Students paid $5 and community members paid $10 to join on this 6-mile hike around the area. The money will go through the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees and assist refugees in need in Syria, South Sudan, and the world. The organization is hoping to raise money to provide refugees tents, cooking supplies, and schools. And now we will hear from one student on why local people should care.
And so it's a really big deal. It really affects not just globally and not just the Syrians or not their neighbors, but also just our local community as well.
There are 15.4 million refugees in the world.
On campus, entrepreneurs unite. On Thursday, the John Papajohn Entrepreneurial Center hosted a grand opening for its new Think Lab. Coordinators invited UI faculty, staff, and students to get more information about starting a business. Think provides space for students with ideas. Entrepreneurs can come to the Bedell Entrepreneurship Learning Laboratory to get feedback and work on team projects. Anyone can use the Think space to meet and converse, and the entrepreneurship faculty at the university hopes it will foster a learning atmosphere.
Where they can work together on problems and solutions. And I think part of a challenge in creating an entrepreneurial or innovation-based ecosystem is having a place for creatives to go and work together.
The Bedell Learning Laboratory is open year-round as a resource for entrepreneurship students.
Now, what's happening beyond Iowa? United States commando raids in Libya and Somalia captured terrorist Abu Anas al-Lib yesterday. Al-Lib is believed to have played a role in the 1998 bombing of 2 American embassies in Africa, where hundreds of people were killed. Al-Lib has been on the FBI's most wanted list since 2001, with a $5 million reward for his capture.
International experts are beginning to dismantle and destroy Syria's chemical weapons, along with the equipment used to produce them. This is the country's first step to eliminate its 1,000-ton chemical weapon supply. The chemical arms reduction in Syria follows claims that the Syrian government used a nerve agent against hundreds of Syrians in August. Well, it was a rough afternoon for the Hawks on Saturday, Tasha.
Yes, it was, but it didn't ruin our homecoming.
I was rooting for them. Anyway, we've got our sports reporters at the game this weekend, Chelsea Brown and Kevin Gluick, and they have the full coverage of the Hawks' 26-14 loss to the Spartans.
It was homecoming weekend in Iowa City, and with Herky in the house, the alumni band playing on the field, once again, Hawks Nest was pumped up to watch Iowa's first Big Ten home test against Mark D'Antonio's top-rated Spartan defense. And after a scoreless first quarter that changes in the second, Michael Geiger chips in a field goal from 27 yards out, and it's 3-0 Spartans. Midway through the second quarter now, and with Iowa needing an answer for a 46-yard McGarrett King's junior touchdown, Damon Bullock does just that, turning a quick little dump into a 47-yard touchdown into the zone. That made it 10-7 and gave the Hawks a much-needed life boost and got the Kinnick faithful back into the game. After a quick 3-and-out for the Spartans, C.J. Fedorowicz shakes off the pass interference to cap off a 6-play, 65-yard drive to give the Hawks their first lead of the game. They would take that 14-10 lead into the half. After it looked like the Hawkeyes took away all the momentum and pumped up the fans, the second half was all Sparty. Connor Cook hooks up with Bernie Fowler right here for its 37-yard throw on Michigan State's first possession to take the lead right back 17-14, and this just began their dominance of the second half. Iowa could not get anything going on the run and all but abandoned it in the second half, only rushing 4 times in the last 30 minutes. And while Jake Rudock was 12 of 15 throwing in the first half, he finished 26 of 46 for 241 yards, but 2 interceptions along with his 2 first-half touchdowns.
I think the thing is they understood the tempo that we were going to play at, and I think they kind of settled into that a little bit and weren't so much standing around. They actually got to the ball a little quicker, so I think that helped them out.
A fake punt helped MSU keep the ball in the fourth quarter to add 3 field goals on their way to icing a 26-14 win. Now with more in-depth coverage on the Hawkeye loss, we throw it over to Chelsea Brown.
The Iowa Hawkeyes stormed the field on homecoming Saturday, opening up their first Big Ten matchup in Kinnick Stadium against Michigan State University. The Michigan State team is ready to battle the Hawkeyes, this time on Iowa turf, coming off last year's homecoming upset in 2012 in East Lansing. The intensity and history behind this matchup was evident in Kinnick, and all eyes seemed to lie on the MSU defense. Starting the game with the run play, Wiseman ran the ball, gaining 4 yards, the most he rushed for in one play all day. Wiseman once again tried to find an opening gap against Pat Narduzzi's defense, but rushing was not going to be dominant in this game.
And you have to be able to run the ball effectively. Again, we didn't come in thinking we'd get 280 on these guys. That wasn't our thought coming in, but we were hoping that we could run it effectively. But the way they're built, they make it very difficult to do that. And they're playing good team defense, period.
Rudock, needing to make an adjustment, knew this was going to be a passing game in order to get any points on the scoreboard.
Kind of understood that they were doing a good job, and we might have to throw the ball a little bit more than I guess what we have in the past. But I mean, I think that just depends on each game. Sometimes you're going to run 100 times, sometimes you got to throw it 100 times, and just being ready to do whatever coach calls.
But the physicality of this game was the Hawkeyes' ultimate challenge. The Iowa defense has not allowed more than 75 rushing yards to their opponent since their season-opening game against NIU. The Michigan State Spartans put up a total of 123 rushing yards, which amped up the frustration of the players and the coaches on the Iowa sideline. An unsportsmanlike penalty stalled an Iowa possession when Iowa was driving, leading to a missed field goal. Even the bench received an unsportsmanlike penalty after an assistant coach on the Iowa sideline threw his headset. The physicality of this game was also apparent on the wear and tear of the players on the field. Utilized team players went down due to minor injuries.
But, we had a couple guys go down this week, and, it's good we got the bye week now so guys can get in the training room and take care of those injuries.
The Iowa Hawkeyes could not hang against Michigan State this Saturday. The Spartans defeated the Hawkeyes 26-14 in a game where Iowa could not establish a run. The Hawkeyes only gained a total of 23 rushing yards, which was not enough to hang with the #1 defense in the Big Ten. The Hawkeyes have a bye week this week, but then head to Ohio, starting more Big Ten action against Ohio State October 19th. I'm Chelsea Brown here inside Kinnick Stadium, Daily Iowan TV Sports.
Thank you to sports for that coverage. Bigfoot may actually exist. That's what some researchers want you to believe. A group that goes by the Sasquatch Genome Project has been collecting alleged Bigfoot DNA specimens. They released a video recently that they say the public has never seen before. Check out the video obtained by US Today. According to the research team, the big video shows Bigfoot inhabitants in the forest of North America.
It's definitely an interesting study.
Yes, it is.
So only with Daily Iowan TV, you can get a sneak peek into tomorrow's pages of the Daily Iowan.
Read about how the Johnson County WIC program is continuing to provide services despite the government shutdown.
And read about crowdfunding.com, a new way for students to fund their research.
That's your latest edition of Daily Iowan TV. Be sure to check us out the same time tomorrow or anytime online at dailyiowan.com.
Thanks for watching, everyone, and have a great night.